Hey guys, today I am going to be doing a review on the Spectra S2 breast pump. This is a hospital grade breast pump and it is a closed system. By closed system meaning that it is designed to keep any kind of moisture or milk from coming in contact with the tubing. So let me go ahead and show you guys the pump first of all. Go. This is the Spectra S2. As you guys can see, I don't know if it will focus in very well, but that is the pump. It retails for about $126 right now on Amazon with Prime shipping. The S1 is also available on Amazon. It is on sale for $164, I believe. Now, before I get into the review, I just want to state the differences between the S1 and the S2 in case you're wondering. The only two differences between these two pumps is that the S1 actually has a rechargeable battery and it is portable. So you're able to take it anywhere with you and pump without having to have the charger or be plugged up to have it connected to a plug. Whereas the S2 is not portable, so you have to be plugged up to a wall outlet in order to use the pump. Those are the only two differences between these pumps. So in this review, everything else that I will be reviewing about this pump applies as well to the S1. So let's go ahead and get started. So I absolutely love this pump. Number one reason being that you have a lot of control over your expression and letdown settings. And it actually has 12 suction levels and 5 cycles, giving you more control over your settings. Because different things work for different people, you will find that a setting that is working for someone else is not necessarily going to work for you, because we all have different stimulation levels, different sensitivity levels when it comes to our breast and nipple area. So with this pump, you're able to fully control your settings and find something that really works well for you. I'm going to go ahead and turn on the pump for you guys. So I'm going to go ahead and first show you guys the pump in some of these settings. So right here, as you guys can see, and I'm sorry if I'm looking this way, it's just because I can't really see what I'm doing in the camera. So right here, obviously, is the cycle. You're able to control the cycle from here. Obviously, you can see the minus and the plus sign, so you're able to control how fast you want that to go. On this side, you have the vacuum, and same thing, you're able to control how fast you want it to go using these two buttons. This button is the letdown button. From this button, you can switch from letdown to expression. It doesn't automatically switch you over to expression like the Medela does after 2 minutes. So this one you have to manually switch yourself over, which can be a con if you're someone who maybe forgets to switch over. But other than that, this is the way that you would switch over. And then on this side, you have a light button. It has two different light levels, and you're able to press that button and then press it again to make it brighter. I will show you guys in just a second. So let me go ahead and turn it on and show you guys some of these settings. And it might be pretty loud, so I'm sorry about that. Okay, so right now we are in expression. I'm going to go ahead and switch over to letdown and show you letdown first. Right, so this is letdown. Now on letdown, you're not able to adjust your cycle at all. And I'm assuming it's because you need that quick suck in order to get your letdown going. So you're not able to adjust that, but you are able to adjust the vacuum. So right now we are on the highest one. We're on 5, but you can go lower, 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 and lower. Now it is pretty loud because I don't have the tubing connected. I will show you guys in just a minute how it sounds with the tubing connected, but right now it doesn't have tubing, so it's going to sound pretty loud, but it's actually not very loud at all. So there you go. So you're able to adjust that. Alright, so now again press that button to switch over to expression. Right now you're on 54, but you're able to, like I said, adjust your cycle and switch your cycle type. Alright, and 38 is the last one. So you, again, use this button to switch it over. And again, you're also able to adjust your vacuum here. You're on the highest setting right now, but you can make it go lower, 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 and so on, and all the way until the lowest one. Okay, so I'm going to show you guys the lights. You might not be able to see it that well because it is daytime, but just to show you guys, there goes first setting, and there goes the brightest one. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and plug up the tubing so I can show you guys how it sounds with the tubing on, and you guys will notice that it is not as loud. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and turn it on. Alright, and right now we are obviously on expression phase. We are on the lowest one. I'm actually going to go ahead and turn it up to 54. And right now we are on the lowest setting, so I'm going to go ahead and turn it up louder. Okay, and I'm just going to go up to the highest one actually. There you go. So once you have the tubing connected, you guys can see or hear how loud it is. It is actually not loud at all. So obviously you're going to be pumping with tubing, so it's not going to be very loud at all. And that's just expression. We're going to switch to let down. That's the highest setting on let down, and that's as loud as it gets. So great. So as you guys can see, it is not a very loud pump. It is actually fairly quiet compared to other pumps. You know, I'm able to pump with this pump in the middle of the night, and I don't have to worry about waking anybody up. Nobody wants to wake up in the middle of the night to pump and wake up the baby in the process. And I like the light feature because it is bright enough for you to be able to see what you're doing and see your control panel and your settings, but it's not overly bright where it will wake anybody up, especially your baby. So as you guys saw, it is not a very loud pump at all. It is actually very gentle on the nipple area, and it does a great job at mimicking a baby suckle. I think that this is as close as I've come to my baby suckle. Obviously, no pump is going to be able to completely replicate a baby because it is still a pump, but it comes pretty close, and it is very comfortable to pump. I almost forget that I'm pumping with this pump sometimes. Great feature about this pump is that it has an automatic timer that shuts off at 30 minutes. You can obviously turn it back on after it's turned off, but for me, usually 30 minutes is enough time for me to empty. So I love that feature as well. It has a handle for easy transporting. I will show you guys again. Handle makes it very easy. The pump looks very bulky, but it's actually very lightweight, and the handle just makes it easier to transport from room to room. So I love that about it. It also has a cup holder in the back, as you guys can see it right here. It only has one cup holder, and mine's kind of dirty. Apologize for that. But it is a pretty generous size cup holder. It is designed to put your milk in there, but I don't use it for that. I would have preferred if they maybe had two cup holders, but I'm assuming that probably would have made the pump a little bit bigger, so that's probably why they just added one. So I don't use it to put my milk in here unless I'm single pumping. Another great thing about this pump is that it is hackable for Medela parts. Now you may be wondering why you would want to hack for Medela parts, so I'm going to go ahead and jump right into the con side of the video. A couple of the reasons why you would want to hack the Spectra for Medela parts would be because the Spectra parts are very expensive. I think a pair of flanges is about $30, and that's a ridiculous amount of money for a pair of flanges. So if you don't fit into the standard size flanges, which are 24, you're going to have to get a hold of a different size. So that can be a bit costly. So that's one reason why you would want to get Medela parts instead. Other reason being because the parts are not as easily accessible as Medela parts. The same thing applies for the pump. It is only available through online, either Amazon, or you are able to directly order it from your insurance if they cover it. So if you don't, if you are not sure if this pump is covered by your insurance, you can call and find out. Just some of the cons. The other thing being, it is pretty bulky. And since it is pretty bulky, like I said, it's not heavy at all, but it is bulky in appearance, so you can't carry it in just like a regular bag. You would have to get like a tote-like bag in order to transport it. It's not a big deal, but some people that may be a turn off for some people. So just throwing it in there. So again, with the part about the Medela parts and it being hackable for the Medela parts, there's two ways you can actually hack it for Medela parts. You could do it the old way, which it consists of you cutting the yellow part of the Medela tubing and inserting it into 2 inches of Spectra tubing that you can cut off directly from the Spectra tubing, or I've heard that you can use aquarium tubing. You can probably Google that. But my favorite way to do it, and this is the way that I recommend because it is very easy and it requires no cutting or anything, it's to buy the adapters. And I'm going to show you guys the standard setup, and then I will show you guys how to hack. So let me just go ahead and show you guys the Spectra flanges and bottles. Right, and obviously this is the tubing that is attached to the pump, and this is the backflow protector. This is what keeps the milk from coming in contact with the tubing and with the pump. Right, so what typically you would obviously insert this backflow protector into the bottle and flange. Sorry guys, let me do it that way. Okay, so that's the standard setup. Now for the hack, the hack that I'm going to show you guys in a minute, you're going to go ahead and purchase these adapters. And these are available through Maymom. I will link the link to purchase them somewhere here in the video if I can figure it out, or I will still link it down below if you're interested in buying these adapters. But they cost about $5, 6 something with shipping, and it comes with 2 of them. And what you do is you would grab your backflow protector, and instead of inserting this part into the Spectra the Spectra parts, you're going to go ahead and actually insert this adapter. You're going to insert the white part of it to the backflow, it's the backflow. Alright, and I'm going to go ahead and get some Maymom parts, same thing as Medela, they're just off-brand, and these are the Maymom parts. They're just like Medela parts, and you guys can see back here there's a hole back there, and you're going to just insert this adapter into the hole, right, and there you go, and you're able to use Medela parts, Maymom parts, whatever. And yeah, another reason I didn't mention before why you would want to hack for Medela parts is because if you're planning on pumping directly into bottles for any reason, then the Spectra parts only fit wide neck bottles, and I will show you guys right now. That is the the Spectra opening. It is very wide. Right, so it will only fit wide neck bottles. I've heard it fits ma'am. I've tried a couple ma'am. Doesn't screw on as well, but it kind of fits the ma'am. It fits Avon very well. Nano Supply makes some off-brand Spectra bottles that fit as well, and I'm not sure whether bottles fit. I've heard of a couple others. I just can't remember the names right now, but you can probably Google what other bottles fit. But only certain wide neck bottles fit these bottles. Medela parts are standard size, so you'll be able to actually fit, if you're using Medela parts and you're using Medela flanges, you'll be able to use any bottles that fit standard size flanges, like Clearance Choice, Gerber, can't even think of any other names, obviously Medela. There's a couple others that I can't think of right now from the top of my head. You don't want to hack. Spectra does sell an adapter, so you can use standard size bottles if you're not interested in hacking at all. Another con about this pump, and what's not directly related to the pump, but actually the parts that come with the pump, is, I will say, the bottles. As you guys can see here, and actually this bottle doesn't really show it. This one does. Here we go. So this bottle right here, as you guys can see, the ink is starting to fade off. And it's not a big deal on this side because it's just the names. It's not a big deal. But on this side, it hasn't started fading off yet, but it will start fading off after multiple uses. I've seen people who use these bottles obviously constantly, and the ink will completely fade off, and that's not good because you want to be able to know how much you're pumping. And you can pour, obviously always pour into another bottle, but when you're pumping you kind of want to get an idea of how much you're pumping sometimes. So that can be a con, this will fade off. So I wish that the Spectra bottles were engraved like the Medela. Again, let me show you the Medela, and you guys will see that the bottles, the markings here are engraved. So no matter how many times you wash this bottle, the markings are not going to go anywhere because they're engraved. Whereas with the Spectra, since it's ink, it's going to fade off over time. So that's another thing I don't like about the parts. The other reason being that, I'm going to show you guys in just a second. Here we go. Okay. I feel like the bottles don't screw on very well. So there you go. So they screw on. I mean, they've never popped open on me, but they don't feel very reassuring. And I've heard of people who have pumped and actually lost milk because these things will pop open. And that makes me very paranoid. So that's the reason I don't use these pump parts, is because I'm very paranoid that they're going to open. There's nothing worse than pumping milk and having to watch it fall, all over you and stuff. So yeah, I don't like that about them. The last reason being for why I don't like using these parts is because I don't like the flange. It is weirdly shaped. It has a very weird angle, and if you're someone who is big breasted, then it's very hard to lift up your boot and stick your nipple in there, and it's very annoying because your nipples don't do this. You know what I mean? So it's really hard to fit them in here. So I'm not a big fan of the flanges at all. Again, I prefer using Medela parts with this with this pump. But if you want to use Spectra parts, you totally can. I'm just not a big fan of the pump parts. But other than that, I love the pump. I don't have anything bad to say about the pump. Absolutely love it. It's a great pump for the price, and you can't go wrong with it. As I said before, the Spectra S2 and S1 are practically the same pump, with the exception of the rechargeable battery on the S1 and the color. Other than that, they're the exact same pump, same settings. And you know, if you want the ease of portability and being able to take it anywhere with you without having to be plugged up to a wall, then you can definitely get the S1. You get to choose whether you want to pay the price difference to get portability, or whether the S2 works for you. For me, the S2 was great. It did the job. I didn't really care for portability. I have a thousand other pumps here. So I didn't really need the portability, but if you do need that, then that's something to consider when choosing which one to buy. And if you guys have any more questions on this pump, feel free to leave them down below. Thank you again for watching. I will see you guys in my next video.